Hello, wrestling fans, and don't worry, we're talking about Sasha Banks and Naomi, but welcome to Getting Red. I am Steve Fall. She is Stephanie Hypes. Stephanie, on this show, we talk about the good, the bad, the what the heck moments of Raw, and especially we hand out the most valuable entertainer award in the show. But I think we need to start with the what the heck award right now, and the what the heck award is the WWE. All night long, we're told we're going to see a six-pack challenge to crown the new #1 contender for Bianca Belair's Raw Championship. That sounds great. That sounds great.
Wonderful.
Sasha Banks, Naomi, Doudrop, Becky, ASH. Like, we're going to see some Becky Lynch's, some Asuka's, all put in that match. Sounds great. Out of nowhere, it's revealed. Oh, no. On air, by the way. On air. It's going to be Becky and Asuka. So I'm like, that's weird. And we're told Sasha Banks and Naomi have left the building. On TV, we're told this. And then as time has gone on one point, Corey Graves on commentary says an unprofessional, they left the building. So he's already throwing shade at them.
Yep.
And
on commentary.
And I'm reading
they
online.
Unprofessionally left the building is what he said.
And then
on TV.
Dirt sheet sources online are reporting that this is happening. They left the building and we're like, what's going on? What's going on? And like just 1 minute ago, before we started recording, we're talking about this off camera, and suddenly the WWE actually puts out a statement. And I guess I'll read the statement. When Sasha Banks and Naomi arrived at the arena this afternoon, they were informed of their participation in the main event of tonight's Monday Night Raw. Of course, the six-pack challenge we were just talking about. During the broadcast, they walked into head of talent relations, John Laurinaitis, his office, and they had their suitcases packed, placed their tag team championship belts on the desk, and walked out. They claimed they weren't respected enough as tag team champions, which people could argue. And even though they had 8 hours to rehearse the construct their match, they claimed they were uncomfortable in the ring with two of their opponents, even though they've had matches with those individuals. Let's stop right there. They've had matches, both of them, with, I think, all the participants.
All of them. Doudrop, Nikki, ASH, Becky, and Asuka. Becky and Asuka for sure multiple times. So
right. And apparently, they were supposed to have their match, and they didn't like it. And those individuals in the past with no consequences, Monday Night Raw is a scripted TV show whose characters are expected to perform the requirements of their contract. Now, I interview wrestlers for a living, and I have asked this question before, where you're like, do you feel like when someone tells you to do something, you have to do it because it's your boss? And
my job
this situation,
the
situation is very interesting because obviously there's gonna be conflicting reports about the WWE side of things, and we're gonna hear from Sasha and Naomi at some point. We don't know.
Yeah.
But what are your thoughts on all this?
I'm baffled. Number one, Raw in itself was actually a really good show. But I think once this broke, and they kept mentioning it on TV, which is even crazier, it kind of overshadowed everything. I mean, Becky and Asuka actually had a great main event match and they're two of my favorites, but I wasn't thinking about that. I wasn't even focusing on that. I was trying to figure out what was going on. So I think this news just really overshadowed everything. I don't think it necessarily helped that they kept bringing it up on commentary. They could have just said, plans changed or, whatever. They could have literally done anything, but they kept bringing it up. And then
why do you think
they
that?
Unprofessionally
why do you think that they kept bringing that up though?
All I can guess is that someone's pissed in the back and they just wanted to let everybody know the reason why you're not getting this main event is because these two women walked out.
So maybe trying to say, hey, don't blame us, blame them.
Kind of. I mean, if you read the statement, it really throws a lot of bad shade on those two. Especially when you're saying they don't want to be in the ring with their opponents as the reason why they left. And that doesn't make much sense.
Now, who do you think that... So we're going to go by just what... This is a WWE statement. I have no idea what happened with Sasha Banks and Naomi, so I'm going by what... I'm not going by the internet rumors. I'm going by what the WWE just said something. They said that Sasha Banks and Naomi were uncomfortable with at least two participants in the match.
Yes.
To me, I'm leaning towards Doudrop for some strange reason. because of just her size. So they're saying, oh, maybe she's too rough with us. And these are just guesses.
I have no
idea.
And it doesn't make sense to me again because they fought Dewdrop before. Dewdrop is a professional. She's been wrestling for God knows how long.
Of course, I'm not saying she's not a professional. I'm just saying this is weird.
She has saved a lot of people in the ring. We've seen her do it. It's been reported. So I don't know. I mean, obviously, I'm not a wrestler and I'm not in the ring with these people.
Right.
My guess would be if they're talking about two people, it's Dewdrop and Nikki, but both people have proven to be safe before. So it's really, really complexing. It's really weird. It's weird. It's not even that. WWE's never, I think someone said the last time they did this was with Austin. I guess Austin walked out.
Yep.
And the last time they released a statement like this, and kind of mentioned it.
It was an unannounced match. It's a very famous story if you've seen any Steve Austin documentaries. And it involves Steve Austin out of nowhere. It's Sunday. We roll into Monday, and it's announced Steve Austin's going to fight Brock Lesnar. This is 2002. Brock Lesnar's only been around for like 5 months. Yeah, even shorter than like 2. And it's going to be Austin versus Brock in a qualifying King of the Ring tournament match. Not even the main event. Qualifying. Austin's like, nah, this plan don't work for me. I don't like it. Bad plan. I'm out of here. Whoop. And of course, rumors online already running rampant about the fact that these are rumors. Again, these are not my thoughts. These are rumors I'm reading. And one is, hey, Sasha Banks was probably supposed to fight Charlotte at WrestleMania, but Ronda got brought in. Naomi was probably supposed to fight Sonya Deville at WrestleMania, but with Ronda coming in, we needed Sasha to do something. We could just leave her off, so they connected these two pieces together. Right. Suddenly, you're a tag team, and it seems that in the WWE, women's tag teams don't last very long, and it's not. It's just a track record of it's kind of known. Yet we get this. Everyone loves Sasha Banks and Naomi together. They're trying their hardest to get this over. They're trying their hardest to become characters people care about still as a team. Yep. And again, the narrative online, it seems, is Naomi was supposed to win the 6-pack challenge. Well, then where does that leave Sasha Banks in this situation? Does it make her not involved with Naomi in Bianca Belair's storyline? And of course, another rumor online was Sasha Banks was going to get pinned by Naomi. And create the friction between those two. So eventually they break up. If I'm Sasha Banks.
And this keeps the tag titles off of Hell in a Cell, which is 2 pay-per-views in a row.
Right.
That they wouldn't be defended. And
if I'm Sasha Banks, right now, just like how people give crap to like wrestlers like Shawn Michaels, Hulk Hogan, even Steve Austin did it, Triple H, Rock. You know how you stay on top? Yeah. Sometimes you have to kick people who are below you down. Sasha Banks is the highest level she's ever going to be right now. Because you know why? Star Wars wants her. ESPN wants her. Movies want her. She suddenly starts going down the card. Yeah. Her value goes down. Suddenly she's not making as much money. Suddenly she's not getting the offers she deserves. It happens to everyone. When you leave the WWE machine, guess what? You, out of everybody else who's tried to do it, it never really works out. You know who it's worked out for? One person. Want to guess what his name is?
The Rock.
The Rock.
And John Cena.
It took him a long
it took him a while.
Yes, he did finally reach it. You're right. He finally did reach it. So congratulations to 2 people out of everyone who thinks they're bigger than the machine. And I love Sasha Banks. But again, this is the What the Heck Award, obviously, for this episode, because I think for me at least, once that broke, were you distracted by Twitter?
I wasn't even watching Raw at that point. I was just trying to figure out what was going on, if it was a work. I'm like, but why would this be a work? It doesn't even make sense. They're a face team. Like, the whole thing is just very messy. The statement is very confusing. And I don't know. Obviously, there's people online. There's a man online who's close to Naomi, and he has his own statement that he put out about what he thinks happened. And given, again, it's not an official anything from Sasha or Naomi. This guy just happens to be close to Naomi. So I don't know. at the very end, he says it was supposed to be Bianca versus Naomi, and Sasha was actually going to end up with versus Ronda at Hell in the Cell, which meant the tag titles would have been shelved for another pay-per-view. And
obviously Sasha and
women
Naomi
would have been taking L's.
Right, both of them would have been.
So I don't know. I don't know. Again, I guess more will come out in the next coming days, but this is messy and it just overshadowed all of Raw. And I don't think it helped with WWE mentioning it on commentary, because that just made you think about it more. It made you want to go to social media and go, what's going on?
Right.
Who? Like, I think there are people in the audience, like even on their phones going, wait, what? And they probably went and checked Twitter because they keep mentioning it. I don't know. Because Becky even mentioned it on her promo backstage.
Well, I was very excited though, because once I saw that announced, I was like, oh, really? This is a big match. I'm like, all right. And I'm like, oh, they're trying to spice some things up. I don't know why, but they're doing it.
Well, it was a sold out crowd, number one.
True.
That show sold out. And they didn't have any competition tonight. There was no NBA finals or anything on.
Oh, maybe that's
so
why
I understood the show needed to could be a big one, right?
Yeah.
Again, it was just all very weird how it all happened. I understand stuff happens. It's a live show. There's a lot of moving parts, but I think things could have been handled better.
I definitely see this being turned into a storyline, but not the positive for Sasha Banks and Naomi. Like we mentioned Steve Austin with Brock Lesnar. The Rock came out on TV and eventually said, Steve Austin took his ball and he went home. And you think The Rock wrote that line? No. His boss told him what to do, and he did it. Very interesting to see what happens next, because I don't see anybody saying no to someone, man or whoever, saying, "Hey, let's do a storyline out of this. Even if they don't come back, we're gonna strike while the iron's hot, and we're gonna do something, and we're gonna say they didn't agree with the WWE, so they left or they went home, or there's gonna be some negative backlash to this." But again, that's the thing, though. Twitter's not everywhere, and I think people believe everyone in the world is like Sasha Banks and Naomi. They're not. Guess what?
Not.
Kids and families are still going to buy a ticket to Raw, SmackDown, house shows, Hell in the Cell, Money in the Bank, SummerSlam, Clash in the Castle. They're going to buy them.
People online,
and they won't even notice that Sasha Banks and Naomi are missing, unfortunately.
Well,
if you're a fan, you know. If you're not a fan, you don't know.
Well, I don't think it's going to stop people from going to the shows.
Not one person.
I just feel that it's like, I don't know. It just comes off very, I don't know. It's coming off very disrespectful. Again, there's two sides to everything. Right now, we only have a statement from one. And again, it's going to, obviously, in the next coming days, stuff will be said.
Something big is going to come out.
But if it's correct, they left the tag titles on John's desk. It said that, right?
Yeah.
Which means that they forfeited the titles.
But like in 2019, this happened with Sasha Banks and Bayley, where they lost the women's tag team champions, and rumors online they were on the ground kicking and screaming and crying. And then Sasha Banks went on the Stone Cold podcast and was like, no, that never happened. I was upset. Yes, of course, but these situations did not happen. And she was pretty much harassed. And again, she doesn't have to go on Twitter and look up her name, but she was saying on this podcast, well, I was harassed and people didn't believe me. And she
They're bringing it up now, Steve. If you go online right now, everyone's like, oh, see, now do people believe that in 2018 she was on the floor screaming? Look, she just walked out of Raw. Like, people are already bringing it up.
It's a track record. But again,
here's the thing.
I wasn't there, so I didn't see it.
Here's the problem. When you release a statement like that, basically blaming the two women, that's a negative light.
Of course.
And so people are going to assume it is them at fault, and it's all them, and it's their issue. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just kind of wish it was all handled better. I wish that all kind of giving it like a couple days to simmer down so they could have another conversation.
You got to get in front of it though. You got if you're a company and you're running a business, you can't
But
have
do
someone.
you?
You can't. You
They
can't
never got in
have.
front of Becky for Charlotte with the title swap thing. They never released anything about that.
Yeah, but look up. You could probably look up impressions on based on hashtag WWE RAW or type in the words Sasha Banks and Naomi. Which ones were trending quicker and faster and at what time?
True. This is true.
So,
Sasha Banks and Naomi was the topic.
right.
So I get what you're saying.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens in the next couple days. Well,
Yeah.
let's move on though. The good of Monday Night Raw for me, it was backstage, and it was Kevin Owens, Chad Gable, and Otis going over the documentation of is Elias Ezekiel and is Ezekiel Elias. Well, it turns out they don't know because there was barbecue sauce on that test. It turns out Otis was mowing down on some delicious delectables last week on Raw, and that to me was hilarious. That's my good. What's your good?
You know what?
Is it the same segment?
Omos versus Bobby Lashley in the cage. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna say it because I have been crapping.
I gotta make confetti for this moment. What is happening in this world?
I'm
sorry. So what's your good again? What is it?
I'm
What is it?
Omos versus Bobby Lashley in the cage match.
Hooray! Only one piece of paper fell in front of the camera. It's all on the floor now. I gotta pick it up later.
I've been crapping on this for weeks. Okay?
Yeah.
It's
you
still
have?
not my favorite thing.
Mm.
However, they pulled out actually a really good, decent cage match. It opened the show. I was actually enjoying it. A very creative and unique finish, if you will. Bobby won. And I don't know. I have to give them their props. It was actually way more entertaining than I thought it was going to be. It was actually pretty good.
Okay. Okay.
So that was my good for Raw.
All right.
I'm gonna give them some love.
Some love. My bad. We're gonna go to bad now since
Yes.
she's good. My bad is Lacey Evans. What show are you on? And you are now a heel because I'm every week. It's like my daddy drank so much he didn't love me, daddy. And then now she's like, I'm better than everyone back there.
Because I went through some shit.
Yeah, that's right.
Know.
I survived. Daddy.
I agree.
Wow, that's your bad. Yeah.
No, it wasn't my bad, but I agree with you. I'm saying it doesn't.
It doesn't make any sense. It would be what the heck, but what the heck took up like 45 minutes of our time that my Zoom call is actually counting me down.
Yes. Okay. So I'll get to my bad really quick then. My bad actually to do with the main event and this whole fiasco could have all been avoided. You have Carmella, you have Zelina, you have Sonya, you have Alexa. They all could have been put in the contenders match instead of your tag teams. This all could have been avoided.
And if you knew 8 hours before, you could have added them, yeah.
I'm just saying.
Because Carmella was there.
Carmella was there. Zelina's posting online.
But I guess you could just extend the tag team, the six-pack challenge to fill in that time. Yeah.
Well, I mean, they could have even kept Doudrop and Nikki Ash in the match and added Carmella and Zelina. There could have been a million other things we could have done.
Right.
And that's what I said. It could have been handled better. My bad was just the handling of that whole situation. Again, it's live TV. You have to just do what you got to do, but they have the talent there. Zelina posted on Twitter, "Hey guys, I'm here."
I did see that. I saw her. She's like, "Hi,
hey,
it's me."
Nowhere to be seen.
I'm the queen. Remember, I'm the queen. All right, we already did our what the heck moment. Obviously, it was the wait. The six-pack challenge is happening. I'm sorry. Wait, it's not. I'm sorry. They walked out of the building. I'm sorry. What happened? Oh, there's a statement from the WWE. Oh my god. That's how what the heck.
They forfeited titles. Okay.
Oh, John Laurinaitis.
How do you know I still work here? Did you know I'm married to Vicky Guerrero? Or is it the Bella?
Steve,
is it
I
the
have
Bella
a question
twins?
for you real quick.
Is it the Bella twins' mother? I think it might be them.
Good question. Yes.
They put the titles on John's desk. John is the one known to call talent to release them. Do you think there's any way at all that these women will be released?
No, because one of their husbands recently got a DUI and he's still there and he's their tag team champion. Moving on, the most valuable entertainer here. I'm going with Becky Lynch, I guess, and Asuka, who cut a promo that I was very confused by. But yet, Becky Lynch and Asuka for taking all that crappy internet made into a ball and just give it a pile driver because they had a good match. And again, if you have 8 hours, you have plenty of time to prepare. But if they didn't have 8 hours and it literally was like happening in the show and they walked and Sasha and Naomi left on the show, then holy moly guacamole, you get the thumbs up here for carrying that ball.
Yes, I agree. I somewhat got confirmation that they did not have 8 hours. So they had to do that on the fly. So
wow,
absolutely props to her and Asuka, Becky and Asuka, for delivering a great match.
Especially on short notice.
That's just good chemistry right there. Good chemistry and great talent. So props to them.
What a day of wrestling. You know, I started my day interviewing Evil Uno. I ended talking about Sasha Banks and Naomi maybe leaving. I don't know what's going on. But folks, thanks for watching. We got to give the thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle to Raw. I was massively distracted in the middle of it, obviously, because of all this news. But let's see what we can produce here. All right, you put your thumbs up like this, folks. You can do it with us if you want. You count, we go to 3, 2, 1. Thumbs up with a thumb down, thumbs in the middle. Here we go. Oh, you got a completely thumbs up. I gotta go thumbs sideways because that story breaking really was like.
It was still a good show.
It was still a great show. Raw has been hitting.
It was actually very good. It's just, unfortunately, was overshadowed by stuff. So
right, a lot of stuff. But there you go, folks. Thumbs up for you, a thumbs sideways for me. I'll go with thumbs up for business wise. Thank you so much for watching, folks. I hope we gave you some information that we're discovering as we're sitting here talking to you about Sasha Banks and Naomi. Of course, the Raw was great. Hell in the Cell. We did announce Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins in a Hell in the Cell match. Very excited, and it seems like Omos and Bobby Lashley are probably headed to Hell in the Cell as well.
And Asuka versus Bianca.
Yeah, so I am very excited to see what happens in the coming weeks. So thanks for watching another episode of Getting Red right here. I'm Steve Fall. She's Stephanie Hypes. We will probably both not go to sleep because we'll be on our phones trying to figure all this information out. Have a good one.
Pieces together.
Have a good one. Let me get my confetti. Bye.